This is very important if you want to convince your business partners that you have solutions. Yeah? Another aspect what is very important, and here I think companies have to come closer together, we have to set standards as soon as possible. There is a lot of uncertainty in the market. What will be a standard in future? Shall I do this now? Shall I do that now? Is this still valid in 3 years? Towards where we are heading. And this is something that, of course, keeps us busy and where we try to come to a common approach with other companies.
Measuring results is crucial. You know, the sustainability debate got started in part, I think, by a drive from outside business to tell business to be good. And I think it's actually really about being smart. And the kinds of things that you're measuring and talking about are ways to make that go further. Mohamed, let's come to you and then we'll go to some questions. But with your focus on renewable energy, where do you see things going? How are we going to get to scale quickly enough so that these 4 companies can be powered in a way that is sustainable?
I was going to start by saying, don't work for a company, I don't have a product to pitch, but that I work before and now and through N21 in promoting the new engine of growth that the minister earlier said is needed, and I believe very strongly that that new engine of growth is renewable energy. Renewable energy has been growing very rapidly over the last 5 or 6 years, and Siemens, of course, is one of the major players on that front. And the jobs in the renewable energy industry has more than doubled since 2004. But it's very important to think that it did not happen by itself. It happened because of government policies and government actions. Of course, money and the investments were important, but that followed government policies and government actions. And that's why you find investments in certain countries and not in any other, in other countries, in many countries, in fact. And that's because of the whole risk climate for investment that's there. The growth happened even during the 2008, presumably the height of the financial crisis and the collapse of Lehman Brothers. Investment in renewable energy grew by 5% to 155 billion. Of course, since then, it has been affected like everything else, but 2008 proved to be the best year for renewable energy, and businesses engaged in renewable energy activities, the revenues actually exceeded the revenues from the defense and aerospace industries combined. So it shows clearly that we are at the outset of a new linchpin here in the energy arena. And when you look at new capacity in the US and in Europe, more than 50% was renewable, which was greater than new capacity from coal, oil, gas, and nuclear combined. So where do we go from here, as the question was here to me? There is just no way we are going to be able to avoid the need for pushing, continuing to push on renewable energy. World demand for energy will more than double by 2050. And when we look at the other challenges that we have, climate change, energy access, energy security, and so on, we are going to need to address the energy questions at the scale that's needed and having to scale up the use of renewable energy. And when we look at the fact that 77% of the new infrastructure that's needed for energy by 2030 has not been built yet, and most of it will be in developing countries, I think that gives us an incentive to think about how we are going to build a more sustainable energy economy moving forward. I'll stop here and we'll come back to a couple of these points perhaps when there are questions. So.
Great, thank you, Mohamed. I'm going to ask a couple of questions to my distinguished fellow panelists. And if I could ask you to be brief in the answers, that will be great, because then we'll be able to get a couple of questions from the audience. So let me start with one. I'll invite Jochen to answer first, and then see if others would like to jump in. We hear a lot about innovation. We heard about it from John Elkington at lunch today. Innovation is the lifeblood of any business, so long as execution is good. But is innovation related to sustainability any different? And how do you make sure that when you're coming up with new product lines, sustainability is something that is at the core of the innovation that your people are doing?
I think we actually have to turn it around and say that innovation is absolutely essential to achieve sustainability. And once we strive to be sustainable, we will also innovate. But innovation has to come first, in my opinion, because we have to put our current economic model upside down. And when you do that, that means you really need to innovate and find new ways of doing business. Somebody once said that design and innovation require the courage to let go of certainty. So if we have to be courageous, and I heard the word uncertainty quite often this morning, it means that we don't know what's going to come. We know that we have a problem, but we don't know how to solve it. And it reminds me a little bit like in the early 90s when the internet became, first known to us in business, and we had to really innovate, and there were companies that took advantage of the opportunities by innovating and others that didn't. And I think that's exactly the same opportunity we have now with sustainability, innovating in order to become sustainable, and then we can also have sustainability drive more innovation, and that's the way around it has to be, in my opinion.
Great. Who else would like to come in and talk about the intersection of sustainability and innovation?
I will add just one quick point related to that. It's very clear, if we are going to really move towards in the long term, a green economy, low carbon economy, then we need to spend much more money on research and development and innovation. Because despite the fact that some of these renewable energy technologies have become competitive like wind, still we are a long way really from having affordable, clean energy for the whole world. And that will come, that second generation, third generation, more efficient, more affordable, will only come really through research and development and innovation, which the expenditures have been going down constantly over the last 20 years.
Anyone else in innovation?
Well, I think in general, these days, no company can do innovation without looking at sustainability or other environmental criteria. I think speaking about our company, we work constantly with life cycle assessments. We look at product innovation, at process innovation. We try constantly to increase the share of renewable material which we have in our package, and reduce the share of non-renewable in order to have a better carbon footprint. We try in general everywhere on every new innovation to reduce the consumption of energy and on water, especially if it comes to the filling equipment. So I think no company these days can lean back and say if we innovate but we ignore sustainability or other key metrics.